I've been walking the road a long time. Oh Lord.
A long time.
Oh Lord.
A long time.
I have been walking the road
A long time.
and I ain't got.
weary yet.
Oh, I have been walking the road, children.
A long time.
Oh Lord.
A long time.
Oh Lord.
A long time.
I have been walking the road
A long time.
and I ain't got
weary yet.
Well, I've been praying this prayer.
A long time.
Oh Lord.
Long time.
Oh Lord.
Long time.
I have been praying this prayer
A long time.
and I ain't got
weary yet.
Oh, I've been praying this prayer, children.
A long time.
Oh Lord.
Long time.
Oh Lord.
Long time.
Never forget,
I've been praying.
those who came before you always remember your roots. And so Sankofa, she returned. So that was one of the...
It's about a way of thinking and moving through the world that is so far out of what is called, people will call it whiteness, but people who study the philosophy of blackness will say that we operate off of a non-Cartesian logic. That the whole I think, therefore I am, for people of African descent, it's more as I feel, therefore we are. And that can't be comprehended by Western, predominantly white societies, but it's also not necessarily understood by us. It's practiced. But in terms of knowing what you're doing, those are two different things. And if we tap into, like, I know that when I make music or I write poetry or I, create something or I have a conversation in a certain way, then I'm tapping into what was happening in, Lagos, Nigeria in the 1500s. And again, what was happening on plantations in the Mississippi Delta in the 1800s. And then what was happening in the north side of Minneapolis in the 1960s. And that there is a legacy that we embody. And a lot of us don't necessarily know what that legacy is or that we continue to uphold it. So I think it's more about a recognition that our physical bodies were abstracted from our ancestral home, but the knowledge has always been there and it always will be.
We got to get back and get into our own spiritual self because, see, I believe there's a higher spirit, but we can't just think it's not no white man I'm looking at, because you see right now I think with Trump and he's showing his white superior, and see, that's why you either got to go one way or the other way, because if you don't, you won't ever be alive. It's a test right now, and people think that it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of change. Because you can't just be materialistic all your life and not, be connected. We all want money, but we all have to heal from here and really know who you are. And all that falsehood will never get you anywhere.
What we need to understand and understand is that every form of healing is indigenous, including synthetic. The ancient Egyptians were already creating, come on now, they were splicing at that time. Mm-hmm. They were able to take DNA from different things and put them together. They were already splicing. It's written in the walls, right? So everything that we're doing, which has been said time and time again, that there is absolutely nothing new under the sun, because it's not. Ain't nothing new. It's just repeated. And so now we're going back through another repeat. We are in a new golden age.
Like through our herbal medicines, they always looked at it as being demonized. Even with us birthing babies, being what is it, how we birth babies, I can't
Doulas.
think, doulas, and we've always done that. We've always done that. Even we used to be the ones that would be the doctors for the white people during slavery. All of our medicines, herbal medicines, we could go out in the patch and pick something, and it was healing because we didn't.
In their time, right. Especially in their time, because even the term witch was to equivalently call us nigger. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a whole bunch of white women running around doing witchcraft. There was a whole bunch of black women running around healing their asses.
Does it feel to be a problem? Whereas for white people who have experienced the products of whiteness are the askable question, which is how does it feel to not be a problem? But no one wants to talk to the people of color and say, how does it feel to be a problem? Because then they're going to get everything that comes along with that. And then they're going to have to entertain our ontology.
I didn't trust the church, because it was all this shit going on, with the church, the raping and, all kinds of stuff, the Christianity. And then what I found, I started looking at who was more powerful, who's a goddess. I looked at all the goddesses. Then when I looked at the mermaid too, it was Yemia. I don't practice so much of what I believe in the four elements, like I said, and because she's a water spirit, I look at, what the meaning is and what's behind her, with the womb and with Mother Earth and we're the creators. But what happened is over in Africa, there's a movie they made a long time ago called Black and White and Color. Mm-hmm. And it was really told the story about superior and inferior. And it showed like these white missionaries coming over. And they came over to Africa. So they had like a bicycle. And they would show, oh, I can ride this bicycle because I'm, and you can't. Take it. It's a kind of a psychological thing that's put in your brain to make you feel like you're inferior, like I can do this, and then they start using the Bible. And missionaries, white folks to me are all missionaries because they always think that you have less, and they always think they have the power. So my spirituality is through nature. Like I said, the higher spirit. I think of when they said they make God in our own image,